Hello everyone, I'm here today to do a review of After the Sun by Jonas Eika, which is part of the International Booker 2022. And this is translated from the Danish, and it is a collection of short stories, but they are longer stories. So the book is about 200 pages, and each story, it's like 5 stories, so 40 pages or so per story. And according to the blurb, they are trying to give an idea of the globalized world and how things are interconnected, which I cannot see how that is the case. Let's get into the details of the stories. Like, the writing style is kind of weird. It's a little bit like you cannot pinpoint what it is, but it's a little bit off. And apparently the author intentionally writes like that. It's his style, which I personally didn't enjoy. But you cannot really pinpoint what's wrong with it. Like, it just didn't connect emotionally with me and any of the stories. And then the stories themselves, the plots are not that elaborate, and the characters are also not that. They are not very likable, and they're also not that developed. I mean, it's short stories, so that's something that makes sense in a way. But yeah, if none of the elements are developed enough, I don't see what the point of the short stories are. And I am not a short story person, so maybe it's just me, but yeah, I didn't connect with any of the stories. And about the topics, it is true that it follows several aspects of the globalized world. There is always some Scandinavian in stories, or most of the times, because the author is Danish. And it does show the interconnection of things. Like, there is a story about the banking and investment system. There is a story about tourists in Cancun and how that affects the local people, stuff like that. But I felt like it was exploring a very surface level, and it didn't go into details, or, well, it went into details about the specific thing. Like, for example, the story about investing is about this Danish guy that starts investing in things and makes a lot of money, and it shows how the fact that he's making a lot of money with this makes it's because someone else somewhere is losing money and becoming poor and basically he's making money by exploiting other people. And he talks about that, but he doesn't show that. He just says like, oh, well, this is the case, but I'm just going to keep making money because I can. Which, yeah, I don't know if that's that I understand that the person was supposed to be unlikable, but yeah, it just, what's the point of showing that and be like, oh, well, that's it, and not actually showing the consequences of those actions and the way in which everything is actually interconnected. It's just snippets of things that are global here and there. The same with, yeah, the tourists in Cancun. They're just there, and they are not doing good things to the local people, but it's just mentioned. And yeah, it doesn't talk about the nuances of those relationships. There's also 2 stories that have the same name, which annoyed me. But yeah, overall, I think that I don't see the point of the collection. I don't know if it's just because I don't like short stories, or it's because it's kind of experimental in a way, but it also didn't feel that experimental. It just felt off, and it just felt like there was no point to it. But it's not one of those books that is like completely stream of consciousness and you're like, well, I think I don't get it, but I guess there is something to it. I think these stories I did get, I just didn't like them. So yeah, overall, those are my thoughts on this book. Not very positive ones, but let me know if you have read it and you have liked it, and maybe I missed something. And yeah, tell me also if you plan to read it or not, or if this was helpful to you in any way. And at the next video, bye!